Hey guys, it's Iconic, and in this one, I'm going to be walking you through what the Leaguestarter experience for Companion Spiritwalker was like for me, things I learned along the way, and where I'm heading with the build based on day one discoveries. And keep in mind, there were some pretty wild discoveries yesterday. So just to quickly touch on the day one experience, what I liked, what I didn't like, and give you a sort of TLDR if you are considering playing Companion, what might be pain points and all of that good stuff, so you know you can go and make an informed decision, if you will. Now I want to say that overall the experience of Companion was without a doubt one of the best leveling experiences I've had in PoE2. The bosses were easy, campaign was a breeze. The only pain point I would say is that you have to level with twisters until Act 2, and then from there it just starts taking off, and then by the time you get to Act 3 and you get your second ascendancy, it just goes through the roof. It is quite wild how good the Bear and Silverfist are as companions. They literally by themselves will demolish, like basically any boss you meet. Silverfist is destroying, trash mobs the Bear is destroying, and Silverfist also has some really good clear, so it's a very comfortable experience. If you haven't already, do consider liking and subscribing, as it helps the channel out a lot. For what the leveling experience overall looked like, in Act 1 we're using twisters because we don't have access to any sort of minion scaling, and it's just you don't go minions early until you get your first ascendancy in Act 2. Once you have this ascendancy, you have two options: you either go Bear or you go Tame Boss. I went for Bear because the Bear is very comfy, and you can get two other companions, so that gives you three companions. So this overall setup makes for the best clear experience. And as for the three companions in particular, we pick up the Judge Osiodon from Act 2 Mastodon Badlands, specifically the Bone Pits area, as well as a Subjugator from the same area, which as a Spectre. And then the second companion is the Bramble Hawk from Act 1 Hunting Grounds. Now they both have good AoE. The Subjugator enrages the Osiodon to make him hit even harder. Now, a very surprising day one discovery for that is they actually buffed the Judge Osiodon. Going from pre-launch, this just said deals 75% more damage, is Beast Sunder. Now, for some reason, it says hits break armor, and it still has some more AD scaling, and then has a chance to maim on hit. And then this looks like it's a multiplier of sorts, but I wasn't able to confirm if it is or not. But he does some pretty good damage with that Sun that you barely see anything living through it when it comes to Claire. Now, the Osiodon is divisive for me because A, he actually does really good damage, but B, he misses a lot. Now, for anyone who has used this beast, he does a 3-hit combo where the third hit is basically a Sunder that has AoE. Now, this is a really good AoE ability, but the first 2 hits tend to miss a lot. That was the first thing I noticed. They tend to miss. So, is this better than something like a Valve Vulture from Act 3? I don't know. The AoE provides a lot of clear, but those misses really tank his viability, I would say. So if you find that you don't like how he feels or gets into the minimum required spirit for him, as well as the Subjugator, which enrages him, is kind of too high, which is literally just 30 spirit on Scepter, by the way. If you find that you don't like using it, then a decent second alternative until your second ascendancy is to get Valve Vulture from the Shard Zone in Act 2. Now, what I recommend is Osiodon, Subjugator, and Bramblehawk into, once you get to Act 3, you get your second ascendancy from running Ultimatum, then you pick up Silverfist from Jungle Ruins, and from that point you're running Silverfist and Bramblehawk. That is my recommendation. And then you can replace the Subjugator with 2 skeletons, Archer and the Skeletal Reaver as well. And then from this point on, you're literally just walking simulator. Any source of extra sockets, you're putting it on Silverfist first, then the support companion. Now, this is also when you unlock Summon Wolves, but I don't recommend switching to Summon Wolves. The reason being, Summon Wolves starts very weak. it gets very stronger once you start getting levels on them, but very early on they just barely have any impact and they die very easily. So I don't actually recommend them until you start getting closer to the end game. I still haven't even swapped. I'm going to try them out once I go live after this video, but for now I'm still using a Wasp, which I got from Interlude, and Silverfist as my two companions of choice. Now for the other day one discoveries that were also just as insane as the Drudge buff, we have news on Silverfist and why he is the recommended boss for this build. Now, we thought Silverfist was going to be really strong, especially from his slam during the GGG showcase, because they tend to use very underpowered characters to showcase their builds. And so seeing Silverfist hit for that hard was very promising. Come to find out on day one that they just gave this guy 25% base crit for free. So 1 in every 4 attacks of his is going to crit. But not only does it crit, he has an inherent 150% increased critical damage bonus. The bonus you see right here. So what this means is effectively crit is very strong on him. It is, if you're able to put map mods on your bosses and you spam map areas like Riverside that has Silverfist as the boss, and for context, he is also Zelkoa the Head Crusher. He can be found in Riverside and Rupture. If you're able to get him with the Rare Monster modifier extra crits, which gives the monsters 300% increased critical hit chance, he can literally just have a 100% crit chance. No further investment. All you need is literally Zelkoa, which is Silverfist, and extra crit mod. So trying to farm up this combo is going to be a decent chunk of what I imagine my early to mid game is going to look like with Atlas progression. After I just unlocked the Atlas when I stopped my stream. So once I'm done with this recording, I'm going to continue progressing the Atlas, doing Fortress, all that good stuff. So that is going to be very insane, and it allows the opportunity of using stuff like super critical, which provides a big critical damage bonus with less critical hit chance. And now because you'd be below 100%, all you have to do is invest a little bit into critical hits from jewels, from there's many other sources, and you literally still cap his crits and give him an insane crit damage bonus. Speaking of jewels can also come with critical damage bonus. We basically can shove as much critical damage bonus on him and get as like a very big hits coming from Silverfist. And this is aside his already insane base damage numbers that come with all of his skills, or most of his skills at least. He has really high base damage and then also has some more damage on those as well. And of course, we can't forget the fact that his Claire is also just really good. So I really recommend it, and I'm going to play around with the idea of being crit capped on a minion very easily and play around with what that means and exactly all the interactions I can get out of it, because there could be some pretty intense implications for a crit capped minion without investment. We also found out that Muster support, which is this gem that gives 7% more damage for each different type of reviving minions, counts separate companion instances as a Muster source, whereas last season it was not the case. So now having multiple different companions is going to give multiple different 7% more damage to each of the minions that have Muster, which means Muster is now mandatory on this build, as we are going to be eventually picking up the Sylvan's Effigy Scepter, which allows us to have as many scepters or as many companions as we can fit. And once we pick up the scepter, we're going to be dropping all our skeletal minions, and we're going to only have companions pretty much. The one pain point of dropping all skeletons is losing Pain Offering, but seeing as we already couldn't take it to a high level because of the int requirements, it's not that big of a deal. Then for a very surprising last but not least day one discovery, the bear just has armor shred. Like it just shreds armor. The wild bear spirit, which is here, breaks armor equal to 5% of hit damage with its maul. So what this means is without any investment on any other character, we still have a source of armor break, and this really did some work in the campaign where most of our damage was and is still physical. And aside as the bear is also just a Giga Chad, he has a lot of AoE, his slam, his leap, they do some crazy work when it comes to Claire. and it actually does some pretty good single target damage as well. Like, I am very impressed by the bear. I do recommend this companion as a first ascendancy because it just feels so nice to have that level of power. But then again, so is Silverfist. But Silverfist isn't available to Act 3 anyways, and that's around where you get your second ascendancy. So it kind of just works out as this is the better first ascendancy, and then you pick up Silverfist later on when you do have access to him. Because before that, if you went the boss route, you would probably end up going something like either Crowbell or the Devourer. And I haven't tested the Devourer yet, but much like Silverfist, the Devourer has a minion multiplier, which is 200% more magnitude of poison inflicted. So this means that scaling poison on the Devourer is very, very potent, and it slaps. Now, you do have to keep in mind that for most of his big hits, there is a cooldown, and he has quite a few abilities. So I imagine for a single target, he's going to be very, very good. Clear might be on the more so-so side. Like, I might end up testing it on stream and seeing how he feels overall. Probably not going to be something that can even compete with Silverfist, but you know, might be something to consider if you're going for an early boss companion pre-Act 3, you know. Now, as for where I'm heading with the build, ideally I want to pick up a Sylvan's effigy staff. Like I said, it has a lot of implications for our setup. It means more companions. It means an extra wolf that buffs my companions. It means extra monster scaling. It means reduced revive time because now all my minions will be companions and I can take the companion revive node. There's a lot of implications with Sylvan's effigy, so that is what I'll be shooting for eventually. It's still too expensive. I saw I think it was like 20 divines when I checked. It's kind of ridiculous. I do see it coming down in price, but I don't know where it's going to stabilize or what its drop source even is, or how common it is either. We don't actually know that yet. For a more immediate plan, I actually have some very, very bad gear. I'm going to have a snapshot of my character in the description so you can see exactly where I'm at when it comes to gear. Some of it might not show up because it's an update. I think anything that I probably have Runeforge won't show up, so that's unfortunate. But basically, it's some very basic gear. I'm just going to highlight everything I have currently equipped in case you're interested. And yeah, I really need to cap my res. My res is currently very not capped, and it could be way better. I haven't really spent money on my character aside the scepter. This is the one thing I bought, which was a very good investment on my part. And then I also need to pick up some jewels because I have 3 jewel sockets and approximately nothing being used across them. Like here, I'm only getting armor. Here, it's only minion res. Then, once I'm done with this recording and I go to stream, I'm also going to be picking up my 3rd ascendancy, which is going to be Katha's Balance. Now, this means I'm also going to shift towards a mace, I think. And I'm thinking for the mace skill in particular, I'm going to be using Sunder. I don't have a gem here, but Sunder increases the physical damage taken or the enemies take, so my minions get to hit even harder. Is kind of the idea there. It's a long animation. I hope I can get some attack speed scaling, and I might just end up going rapid attacks 3, which reduces damage but increase speed by way more than that. Let me just pull it up real quick. There we go. 35% increased attack speed and 50% less damage. But if I want to rely on that for some sources of like leech or some just sustain, then I'll just opt for rapid attacks 2 and probably go for rage 3. Rage 3 also comes with some attack speed if I'm not full rage. This also makes it so I have a source of rage, and because I would have a source of rage, I am currently pathing towards this wheel. So that means my minions would then also gain rage, and they can probably now drop this rage gems because now they have easy access to rage. Though the attack speed is still kind of nice for them, but there'd be better alternatives at that point. But that's it, pretty much where my mind is at when it comes to my character and where my build is going. Overall, very fun experience. I 100% recommend it. A lot of fun things to come with Silverfist scaling, pretty much. If you haven't already, do consider liking and subscribing. It helps the channel out immensely. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below and I'll get to answering it. Or you can stop by the live stream. Last time I was live 16 hours. This time I'm probably going to be live like 10 plus. I'm basically online is what I'm saying. And yeah, with all that said, thank you for watching.